Hello, welcome to another Rhapsody quick tech tip presented by Lineate. Today we will cover converting multiple results in a single HL7 message into multiple messages with a single result in each. Most newer result systems can produce a single message with multiple results for a single patient, but some older receiving systems can only process a single result per message. We will see how you can solve this problem with a few simple tricks in the S3D designer coupled with a mapper and debatch filter. First, let's look at the incoming message structure within a Rhapsody S3D. In order to split the messages using a mapper, we need to use different input and output S3Ds. This example input is a very basic S3D with an ACK, ORM001 and ORU-R01 message. The ROU has an ordered group of results, with a minimum of one result group per message. The S3D was created using the wizard in the EDI message designer in the same way you will have made them in your associate training course. The output S3D also contains the same three messages, ACK, ORM and ORU. This has also been set up with a parent batch section. This allows multiple messages to be added within a single message, batching them together with a header and sometimes footer. Batch types can be created in a very similar way to a normal S3D using the wizard. Let's see how this is done. As done on the associate course, we will use the EDI designer library wizard. Rather than simply choosing HL7 2.4 messages, in this case, we will choose HL7 2.4 batch. We will choose an ACK message, an ORM001 message, any will do, and an ORU-R01 message. Rhapsody will then generate these messages according to HL7 org's requirements, including a batch header for those messages. We can alter the name of the pharmacy message as this will be generic. We can also alter the structure of the messages within the batch in order for them to adhere to the outgoing message structure we require to send. The downstream or receiving system may need many alterations to the S3D in order for the message to adhere to the specification required. This can all be done in here and will be mapped correctly when we look at the mapping. If we add the simple input S3D as an input to a mapper and the more complex batched output, we can choose the input to be an ORU-R01 and we can choose the output to be a batch. This allows us to map a single ORU message with multiple results into multiple messages with a single OBR-OBX segment within. We would want the MSH segment to be passed directly into the MSH output. If we automatically map this, they just happen to be the same in this case. The output is asking which of the repeat messages we wish to add to. We will create the first one. The issue with using 0 is it will only create a single ORU-R01 message. We need to create an ORU-R01 for each of the incoming results. If we use a for loop, looping around the size of the results, this will loop around for each of the input result order groups. If we add the MSH map and reference the index we're currently on, if we run this code, we will loop around every single result and create a new ORU-R01 for each of those messages. We can see there is one OBX segment, one MSH, further repeat, and a further repeat, a further message. Let's repeat that for every other simple segment. Here's where things get slightly trickier. The OBX will map to the OBX, but we have an array to choose from as the input. We will choose I as the input, again I as the output. On the NTE, slightly more tricky again, we map from NTE to NTE. We have an index in, which we will use I, and an index out, which we will use I, and an index of NTE. We will use star, which allows Rhapsody to map all the NTEs. We add a little extra code to the mapping in order to differentiate the message control ID and sequence number between the three different messages created from the first one. This means the downstream system, which may require unique message control ID and sequence numbers, will be happy. Let's run this and see what kind of result we get. We have a single message in with multiple result repeats, 1, 2, and 3. On the output, we can see we have multiple ORU R01 messages, 1, 2, and 3. All identical, bar the extra differentiator we've added to the sequence number and the message control ID. First one has the first result repeat in, second one has the second OBX repeat in, and the third one has the third result repeat in. We can now add this mapper to a route and map from a single message to multiple messages. Unfortunately, we're not quite there yet though, as the message comes out of the mapper as a batch. We need to debatch that message using the debatch filter. If we have a quick look in here, we're in debatch mode. We add the debatch header expression. We may need a trailer expression. In this example, we don't. We mark the start of the message with the MSH tag. Let's try testing this. If we edit the initial test, we can see we have a message header with multiple ORU messages within it. Run the test, have a look at the output. Again, the input, we have a header and 3 separate messages. On the output, we have one of 3 messages. The first one with the first OBR and OBX. The second one is the same other than the top and also the different result message repeat. And finally, the third one with a third message repeat. Using 2 filters, some minor code within the mapper, we are now able to map from a single message with multiple results into multiple messages with a single result. For a copy of this code, please speak to your Lineate site manager, who will be able to put you in touch with your local implementation consultant. Hope you enjoyed this little snippet. Stay tuned for more Rhapsody quick tech tips presented by Lineate. Thank you for watching.